This body of ours shall wither away, but the spirit remains forever. Now, how many of you agree with this statement? Hands took a little time going up. Okay. Today we'll talk about one person who's still alive even after long since he has left this world. We'll talk about rifleman Jaswant Singh Rawat. 55 years back in 1962, when India was fighting a fierce war with the Chinese, he was posted at Nuranang. Nuranang, as of now, is referred as Arunachal Pradesh. At that particular point of time, it was known as Nuranang. So he was a part of 4 Garhwal rifles, and he was given the task, his battalion was given the task of fighting at a particular barrier and fighting along with the Chinese. As consequences happened, the Indian army was told to retreat back from that particular battalion or from that particular frontier. Now, because he happens to be from Uttarakhand, and as the saying goes, in Uttarakhand, the land is considered to be your mother. And I believe that is the case with a lot of other places as well. So how can he, being such a passionate lover, would leave his place and go away? So what he thought, that even if all the other people of my battalion are going, I'll still stay there and fight the Chinese. Now imagine, how can one person fight against the entire Chinese army? So he thought, how is it possible for me to fight against all of them? So what he did, he found 2 girls, Nonpa girls, by the name Sarah and Nula. He trained both of them, and what they did, they arranged the guns in such a manner that once the fighting happened, the Chinese thought that they are actually fighting against an entire contingent. So for the next 3 days, that is for the next 72 hours, they fought the entire Chinese army over there. So the Chinese were perplexed when they came to know, after they acquired one of the person who was giving rationale to the group, that they were only fighting against one person. So this came as a surprise to all of them, and besides the surprise, everyone in the Chinese army was also infuriated. They went to the battalion but were not able to overrun it. But after continuous efforts, they finally captured Sarah, and Nula died in a grenade blast. Talking about Jaswant Singh Rawat, he was not ready to back up. What he did was, he shot himself in the head, and when the Chinese came there, they were not able to capture him alive. So what they did, they took his head and took it along with them. After the ceasefire happened, after the war finished, when the Chinese were told about his bravery, when the Chinese government came to know about his bravery, his head was returned along with the brass bust. Now the legend did not end there. Just like my story says, staying alive even after death. Even today, there are 6 persons who have been deployed, who take care of his operations. His shoes are cleaned every single day. His linen is cleaned, his towels are changed. And the person who's in charge of his cleaning of shoes says that in the morning there are times when there is mud even today on his shoes, which is a testimony of the fact that he travels every night, even today. You will be surprised to know that he still gets promotions, although he has died 55 years back. And the people there have named that place as Jaswantgarh. All the locals who live in that place have now thought that he's a guru and someone who can preach. So he gets letters. I don't know whether those letters are being responded to or not, but one thing very surprising is there, that in the morning, during the breakfast time, and also the evening tea is still being served to that person. Now the roads to that particular area, like it happens in every mountainous region, are just like a serpent moves. So it is said that he can be seen at various places, and he tells people and he tells the army how to go about on those curvy roads. Besides that, though he was a Jawan, everyone who travels that particular path, even if that person is a Jawan or a general or a major, everybody salutes him, everybody pays a homage to him because of the things that he have done. Now, when I read his story, I thought, how is it possible? So I also saw a documentary based on his life, and I realized that each and everything that is mentioned over there is true. There have also been stories that if you find someone who's in the battalion who's in charge of the operations, and if that person is found sleeping in the night, that person is often slapped by someone who's not visible. Now, all of us, just like you came onto the stage and said that I want to be famous, and each and every one of us want to do something significant in life. It is also said that we are afraid of taking the road that is less traveled, because many a times on that road we are alone, right? We won't have other people who will be going along with us. In my previous speech also I said that as human beings, and as like he's talking about number 7 today, we are blessed to have been born as human beings. But how many of us are actually putting in the kind of efforts that are required to become successful? It is always one man or one woman who makes a difference. You look at India's present Prime Minister, you look at so many fierce warriors in the past, you look at so many people. It has always been one person's dream or one person's vision that others have followed. Technically speaking, we people are actually looking for some leaders in life, and we're looking forward to travel after them, to follow whatever they have shown the path. And most of us are followers. There's a saying and there was a story that there were about 30,000 sheep who died on one particular day because one sheep fell off the cliff, and the remaining 29,999 sheep followed that particular sheep. And that is what happens and probably that is why it is said that don't be a sheep and don't follow. But that is exactly what we tend to do in our life. I have a question, and this question was asked when Sir was present that day also. How many of you are actually following your passion that you have decided in life? I know that each and every one of you has got so many tasks to do. By the time we go back home, we are tired and we are doing a lot of stuff which probably is not helping in our future's growth. But we still do it just because it gives us momentarily satisfaction. There are a lot of things that we do which we know at the end of the day when we get back in the morning tomorrow that it is not going to be helpful for us. But we still do it because we need to just pass the time somehow. And that is how it goes. If I talk about me, I choose to become the one man. I choose to become one leader who is inspiring a lot of people. And I draw a lot of inspiration from this person who died 55 years back, but he's still being remembered today by a lot of people. He's being worshipped by a lot of people. Are we actually doing things that will make us be remembered for a long period of time? Are we doing something significant that even after 10 years, 20 years down the line, will people talk about us? The main problem that stops us today is that we are always afraid and we are always thinking as to what others will think about our actions, and that is why we are not ready to put in the efforts. I just ask one question to each one of you today. What will be the one thing that you will be remembered for after you go away from this planet? Thank you so much.